Hey everybody, welcome back to Stratego Freaks for another exciting video. Today's video is all about making an early marshal read. If you can properly kind of figure out where your opponent's marshal is, it gives you so much freedom with your gen. And any information, whether it's known information or a good read, that can just change everything. And this game exemplifies that perfectly. Now, the player I'm playing is a very strong player, one of the best. And I've played them before and I've won, I've lost, but we've always had competitive matches. I always seem to play better when I'm actually playing a better player. It kind of dials in my focus a little bit. This game is no exception. So let's start, and we'll kind of break down what happens as we go. Now, the setup I'm using is similar to the one I've used before against this player, and I made a couple of changes. The player I'm playing is extremely smart and has a very good memory and picks up on people's tendencies. And because of that, I wanted to keep the setup structure somewhat similar, but just change a couple of pieces. And it seemed to work in the end game and when it mattered the most. So let's get started and see what happens. So this game kind of takes its time. Now, I'm going to stop it. Hold on. Because of the previous match, and then actually the two matches I played previously against this opponent, the first time they brought out their marshal early, and I lost an early major because of it, and it caught me by surprise. And it's not that the game was over and he got my major. I just didn't expect it based off of what I had seen prior. Then the following game, after that, this player bluffed his marshal a lot, and I kept calling his bluffs. Eventually, he got it. I kind of made some errors there, and he just outplayed me and got the victory. But I was calling his bluff. So in this game, I anticipated he was going to bring the marshal down earlier based off of how I interacted with him, his style in the last game. So that was my reasoning, was he's going to bring a marshal in early, and it's up to me to identify that at that time. So here we are. He brings in a captain into my setup, and I have a major in place, and I'll take that. As I said, if I can give up the minimal information, sure, he knows a major, but I'm actually up material, and I think that's a good way to start. Let's keep going. Okay, the moment this piece moved out from behind the lake, my spider senses were tingling, and I was already like, okay, I'm not going to lose another major in the first few moves. So I was very wary of this lake piece. Let's keep going. So I'm going to just do a little bit of shuffling around, nothing major. Just I wanted to see what they had done. Now, I had played previously, and I had been super aggressive and had come up in a lot of situations, and I felt this time I was going to change paces and let this player come to me. And I wasn't really doing anything. I just wanted to see what was going to happen. Now, this piece is coming down. And the further... So I would say at this moment, I was thinking, okay, there's a 30... And this is just my mindset. This is like a 30% chance this is the marshal. Of all the pieces, it just, 30% at this moment. So I'm not going to commit to attacking it with anything. Now, because it could be, I want to get my spy over, just to kind of keep things in check. Let's keep going. All right, so I'm going to bring it back just to keep things moving. Now, he's trying to pinch me off. Now I'm like, this really could be the marshal, and he wants me to hit it, just like when I had done before, to lose a piece, maybe a significant piece. So I'm not willing to do that. I'm not willing to even test it right now. But now I'm like 50%. This really feels like a marshal just coming down into my setup. So I am not going to hit it. if anything, he's going to come down. I had determined if he brings it down, I may just insta-hit with my marshal, even giving up the information. But I don't want anything down here. I don't want to go down any pieces, and I'm sure as heck not going to hit with my gen. All right. He comes in on this side with his captain, and I move up on this. I move up on it just to see now if it's his marshal, and we exchange fine, and then I have my 2 right here, and I'm going to come up and hit some of these move pieces. Let's keep going. Now he hits here, and I go up another captain. Now I like this, and this plays kind of a role later on, being up those captains. We keep going here. All right, scout there. I'm coming in. I'm playing a couple of games here with him, not giving him a good idea of what I have. I'm just going to shuffle a little bit. And he scouts. Now, I love this. I love picking up that scout. And the information he got was a captain. And I'm fine with that. It's a known piece now. Let's keep going. So I'm not doing anything. I'm not trying to outreach or go out after him. I'm being patient. Let's keep going. Now, I wanted him to think this was a piece or something, and he backs off. Then I come back just to play some games here. And then I make in my mind, I'm going to push up. If he comes down, I'm going to insta-hit. And this is exactly what happens, and I love that. Picking up a minor early and only giving up this the 7 information. I'm liking the way this game is going so far. Now, I bring this over. Even though I'm like 50% that this is his marshal, I have my marshal here stopping any kind of craziness if he were to decide to do so. But if this is the marshal, this is enough of a deterrent for that piece to stop. And I don't think his gen is going to take this not knowing this early in the game. Let's keep going. All right, so I'm going to exchange there. In the past, I might not have, but I do know I want to keep any advantage I have, and being up the 2 captains and the minor is kind of crucial, especially against a player like this, because you want to try to keep those advantages if you can, if not increase them. Let's keep going. So I'm trying to figure out how to progress. Now this piece coming down, all right, I lost a scout there. I thought that could be his gen. Now I'm coming up on it. Now this coming out from behind the lake. This could be the marsh. It could be another scouting piece. And it could be the gen. Right now my radar is on the gen. I need to find that gen. So he's coming down. So I'm just going to kind of play around here and see what he does. Now I move that over, willing to lose it, and now I've got good information. Now I bluff this because I want to get him out of there, and let me go back. So I do move over my marshal. He probably does think this is my marshal, maybe. And then I move up on him. He's not going to come back down because that could potentially trap he'll have to make a decision on what is. And I know this player doesn't like to take too many unnecessary risks, so he responded the way I thought he would. He backs out. And I pushed this up here as an unexpected move. So here's my thought process. I know the 2. This is a bombed off area. Effectively, I do have to be careful, but he would have to make some incredibly lucky reads over here to penetrate this. But I pushed him out, and I decided now's a good time to push up the marshal. If the piece I think is the marshal, we exchange, fine. My 2 just comes up, and I start taking. The other reason I push it up is he thinks it might be a scouting piece, and he doesn't want me to discover his marshal. And I was hoping he would take with this, not knowing what it is. And so once I push it, he does hit it, and I pick up another piece. So this is good news. Now, he does have information, which is fine though, because it doesn't really affect me. He doesn't have any real attacking chances with his general right now. I can come block things off. So I immediately come down. He comes down, and I scout a bomb, and I don't mind that at all. So he's coming in, and he pushes. I'm going to play a little game of back and forth here. Now I move this because this looks like a hittable piece, and I cannot afford to go down a kernel here. So I'm going to vacate it and protect it while I can. And once again, I'm kind of doing good. Unless this piece comes down and just, lottos something, I'm feeling actually really good about where I'm at. All right, let's keep going. Now this allows me to get my kernel out, which I was thrilled about for multiple reasons, and we'll talk about that later. And this I didn't quite understand. Now I bring up this kernel so I can escape and get my spy in place, because at this point I'm like, you know what? This front piece is the spy, or the marshal, and if I can get this over here, that's going to present a lot of problems for him. It's just going to lock off this board. So let's keep going. Now he takes that, but that was kind of a mistake, I think, on his part, because now it allows me to pick up the 6. Now he's coming down with this. He's trying to tell me that this is his marshal, and I knew that was bull crap the moment it moved. And so let's keep going. I take that, I get that, I'm stoked on that. Now I move my spy out of position, or over here protecting these two, and ultimately I'm already thinking about if I can get my gen up and around, because he moved quite a bit of pieces over here. The only thing stopping me from doing that is my own pieces. So I'm already thinking, all right, I've made a commitment here. This piece in the front is his marshal, and if that's the case, it's like I can see the board, and I know the known gen, but in my mind this is a known marshal, and I'm going to commit to that read, and that changes everything. So let's keep going. So this comes down, I push on it immediately because I know that is definitely not his piece, and he could have trapped me in here. So I don't buy it for a second, and I'm going to push up into his setup and park this piece, because I am not afraid. I know that his marshal's here and his gen is here, and this is going to stop any miner from coming down. I still have this protector if something does come down, but my goal is to keep this kernel. Even if we exchange, I feel good about it. Let's keep going. All right, so I'm already starting to vacate this file here to release my general. Okay. Let's go here. All right, so we're going to play a kind of a couple moves over here. I just want to pin that down. Now I'm going to bring this up and just hit whatever I can over here to see what I can find out. Let's keep going. Okay, picked up another scout. I love it. He's running. He doesn't want it. Now I'm bringing over the 2 immediately. And he's kind of trapped. He could move over, but his ruse would be destroyed, and he's hoping that he can parlay that into picking up a piece over here. And he still has no idea where my spy or my gen is. And I thought for sure when I started to move this out, he'd have an understanding this could be it. But let's see what happens. All right, so he pushes down, and I'm coming across. We exchange. This is brutal for him, because once again, I'm committed that and there's nothing that's going to stop me from hitting any of this unless he protects it with this piece. Boom. I'm on it. Now, whatever this is, it's a dead piece. And boom, that is huge. So right now I'm up the colonel, I'm up a captain, and I'm up a major at this, and I have knowledge on his general, and I believe, once again, I am convinced that this is his marshal. So I'm just going to park it and let nature take its course. I love it that he wasted a scout there. Now, my mind is I want to exchange. I don't want to have to fight over anything. I want to just keep this advantage as best I can. And the way the board looks over here on this side is blood and bones for any lottoing pieces coming down. If this is the marshal, which I believe it is, the only thing he can do is come down. But he's going to have to deal with my spy, and that's an issue for him. So effectively, his general is locked down. My colonel is locking this side of the board down. And these are two pretty well placed pieces, and my bomb setup over here is definitely troublesome. Let's keep going. So he pushes. The moment it moved, I was already thinking, let me go back. I said, if he pushes, I am insta-hitting this piece with my colonel. I'm not even going to worry about it. I'm just going to do it because I already have the advantage, so I might as well figure it out. If that is his marshal, fine. I still have the advantage. Let's go. So he pushes, and I insta-hit and get rid of his spy. Now, he's bitter. That was like best case scenario for me. Now I've freed this colonel. He can't do anything with this marshal. Not really. He'd have to pull off an incredible run, but I already had figured out that I could stop it if he did decide to go crazy lotto. Let's keep going. All right, so he's coming down, and I'm looking to do the exchange here. Now he gets into a corner. This piece is effectively bottled. I'm doing that there, and I'm getting rid of that piece. Now I think I make a mistake here. I don't think I needed to do that, but he possibly could have lottoed this piece. I don't know, but I wanted to keep it active and alive. Let's see what happens. All right, so he's trying to do a little two-square action, and I'm like, I want to exchange. So now I'm like, okay, so what are these? If this is the other colonel, then we exchange, great. This would be a major, and we would just exchange on there, and I'd be maintaining my advantages. This could be the colonel, but since I'm up that, I'm willing to I can't save it, and I'm willing to find out the information. Let's keep going. All right, so he pushes. I figured that out, loving getting that last scout of his. Super important, especially in endgame. And that is his colonel. I'm not thrilled about it, but, I still have the advantage here. No doubt. So I need to come up and get these moved pieces. And he moves that. I was thinking that could be a major, but it isn't. And I don't hate picking up a sergeant. Okay, so now he's kind of stuck himself in a little bit of a hole here. So he lottos, and that 3 effectively, Colonel has to do something. So he comes back, and we're going to exchange, and I'm fine with that. Now, I have to be mindful because he might try to come through here, so I'm going to figure out what that is. Now I'm immediately coming back, and I expect him to start taking pieces. Now I've got it blocked off. I want to get rid of this. Oh, and I'm up another captain. And at this moment, I'm like, this game is wraps. I think I have it in the bag. Now I am down a few 6s over here, but and a 7. But if we're looking at this game, I feel very confident with it. And he is trapped. Now, what I try to do is, I didn't even have to move down, but I wanted him to think he might be on my flag and potentially desperate. So I just wanted to come down, and he hits it, and right there, we know this game is over. And it is. And I was, pretty stoked about this game. Not an easy guy to beat, so to grab a victory, and in the fashion that I did, was pretty rewarding. The moral of this story, of this game, is how a read, especially on the marshal, can give you freedom. And that's what happened in this game. As soon as I identified the marshal, I was just locked in and said, okay, I just need to escape my gen. I had information on his. It wasn't going anywhere, and it wasn't doing anything. I had material advantages. And I went in and did what I had to do to win this game. Anywho, I hope this is some insight that will help you gather some wins, and you can utilize some of these techniques, strategies to your advantage next time you're playing. And anyways, I got to go, guys. I'll see you soon. See you on Strategus, and hope to beat you there too. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.